Morning, everybody. Welcome to our day 22 of our March Micro Minimizing Challenge. I hope you've been following along. Certainly give me a follow on my Instagram or Facebook accounts. Subscribe to my YouTube channel so you won't miss a video. And for the month of March, we've been taking a very narrow look at kind of small areas to minimize, to kind of break down the bigger job into smaller jobs. And it makes it a little bit easier to get through decluttering, especially, in the spring, we kind of get the bug to clean up a bit. So I thought this might be a good time, and I'm trying to focus on some different kind of areas, jump around different areas of your house, keep it a little bit fresh and fun. So today I'm talking about video games and consoles. I have always been amazed at how quickly new video game consoles come out and the quality of the new games. I'm not a big gamer myself, but people in my household have been, and so I see the games and I see the quality. I mean, it's pretty unreal now, considering when I was a kid. We had the first video games. I remember my dad bringing a computer home for the first time. We played Pong, a little tennis ball going back and forth. Probably aging myself there, but we had the Atari. Believe it or not, we actually still have that Atari, because I know it's worse than value right now, and that's one thing that has been put away for a little while. But for the last several years, we've kind of had video game consoles that we have held on to, because different people in the house played different games on them, so we had all the different versions of a video game console, and of course the games that went with it. But over the last year, we became empty nesters, and it's just my husband and I, and we don't play a ton of video games. So it was kind of time to say, just recently, maybe it's time to let go of some of the older versions of our consoles. One of our older ones that we were keeping, my husband was hanging on to, because there was one particular game he liked to play on it. Keep in mind, he never played on it. He just liked the game and didn't want to let it go, and so we had to keep the console for that. We did a very quick search and found out that they actually have created an updated version of that game for one of our more recent consoles. So he was okay with that idea of replacing the older game. So we've now been able to remove our older consoles and games from our home, and just keep it to our upgraded area. And this is going to have a bit of a domino effect, because pretty soon our entertainment unit is actually getting too big for what we need it for. So we're going to be able to downsize our entertainment unit in I'd say the next year or so, whatever. But it's kind of starting to get pretty empty now, and we don't need all the space that it once had. So looking at your video games and consoles that you have in your home, ask yourself, do you have several different versions of video game consoles? Are they all being played? If you didn't have the older versions, would the newer versions suffice for your family? Would that work? Like my husband, is there an upgraded game of a favorite game that maybe it's not getting played, but you're hanging on to it just because of that game? Is there an upgraded version of that game that will work for you on one of your newer console versions? So make sure that if you're not the video game player in your home, or you're not the only video game player in your home, that the other people in your family, kids, spouse, partner, the people that do play the video games should be part of the decision making on this one. You want the people, you don't want to be like, you're making the decision and they come and go to play their games, and hey, what happened here? And they didn't get an option. You want this to be involving all the people who play video games in the consoles and have a very reasonable conversation over what makes sense for your home now. So some of the questions that you're going to ask yourself is, what are their favorite games? Maybe pull out all the games, put them out on the dining room table or on the floor and say, okay, what are your favorites, right? What are the ones that we absolutely have to keep? What are the ones that you never play? You're no longer interested. They were fun for a while. The novelty's worn off. Which ones have been outgrown? And somebody else younger could be appreciating them in somebody else's home. And that, of course, brings the question, could somebody else be enjoying this game or gaming system, console that you're not using anymore? It's just collecting dust in your home. So you're going to have your keep and your donate, and possibly even with video games and consoles, you might even want to have a sell box ready. And they, of course, can be donated. If you're going to sell them, give yourself a very tight deadline. If you're going to sell them yourself, say on one of the marketplaces, give yourself like a week to have them out of your home, or these things start to hang around for a really long time. One of the better options might be to consider using the used video game stores. They are buying systems, they're buying old games, they're always looking for stock. And that might be a much faster way to have them removed from your home, and you're still going to make a little bit of money off of them because some of those are worth the money. Of course, you can always donate them, or maybe somebody else in your family would be interested in taking it off your hands. By all means, give it, sell it, whatever works for you, but just keep that deadline really tight to have them removed from your home. I'd say like a week max. I usually do 3 days. When you're selling, give yourself a little bit extra. Of course, if you have gaming consoles that are not working and they're not fixable, or you're not willing to put the effort in or money into having them fixed, keep in mind that on day 5 of this challenge, we talked about the Staples recycling program. Staples will take gaming consoles and games in for their recycling program, so you can always drop it off there, and not the landfill, right? Let's not throw it in the garbage. Let's let the people who can refurbish them or use them for parts, etc., put them somewhere so that you feel good about your when we're removing things from our home, we want to feel good about it, and the less stuff going straight to the landfill, the better. Okay, so if you have any questions or anything you want to talk about with this, feel free, reach out to me. I'm more than happy to talk to you and help you sort through. Of course, when I do these videos, I have to talk fairly generally, and I have to kind of blanket a whole bunch of areas, but you might have a very specific situation and you're not too sure what to do in your situation. By all means, feel free, reach out. You can DM me through Instagram, send me a message through Facebook Messenger. You can go to my website and contact me that way via email, and we can set up a time to chat. I'm more than happy to talk to you. Remember to subscribe and follow on either YouTube or Facebook, Instagram, so that you don't miss a video. And I hope you all have a really great day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.